Hello and welcome to Jamie TV. I've always said that if you let me know what videos you'd like me to make, I will do my best to make them. And just recently, since I've been adding some bass guitar content to the channel, which it seems I should have done a long time ago, lots of people have said, what is your favourite bass and can you make a video about that? So here she is. This is the Fret King Blue Label Ventura Super 80, not a long enough name. And today I'm just going to tell you a bit more about her. Isn't that just the coolest shape? I think what we need to show this off is like a super high-tech hippie special effects flyby scene. Try not to talk bollocks. When the lovely people at JHS asked me if I might be interested in becoming a Fret King endorsee, I went up to, actually we'll just get that out of the way first, right? So yes, I'm a Fret King endorsee, so you might be thinking, is this guy going to tell us the truth about this bass? I mean, well, and I get that, right? I totally understand that, but you can't buy this anymore. This is not a current model. I'm just making a video about my favourite bass, so just trust me on this, okay? Right, so JHS wanted to know if I might want to become an endorsee, so I went up to their showroom to have a look at the current models, and this immediately caught my eye. And I'm just looking in my monitor, yeah, because the studio's full of like expensive technical equipment. And I realised this is not even in shot. Maybe I should sit like this. If I sit like this and it's in shot while I talk about it, which would be good. So this immediately caught my eye. I just thought, what a cool shape, you know? Because so many bass guitars are really just a slightly different take on things that we've seen a million times before. And, you know, so I just thought it'd be cool to have something that was really different looking. And also, it's got the 3 classic pickups on it, right? So we've got a single, a split, and the massive, big, chunky, weighty neck thing there. And I just thought, if that's a good bass, right? If that's comfortable to play, I could get those 3 classic pickup sounds, those old school sounds that I've been craving. Because at the time, I was playing active basses, and they were really, really good basses. You know, really high fidelity quality sound, but somehow I just wanted to get back to an old school classic sound. So I thought, right, my first concern is it's a cool shape, so therefore it's going to be horrible to play. I just know it. So I checked it out and I was very, very pleased to find, because you know those basses that are really awesome, cool shapes, they're always awful to play, you know. You can't sit with them in the studio, and you know you can only play them stood up, and this awful neck dive, and they're usually just really, really big. And to me, a small guy, the tuners are way over here, and it's just, they look cool, but they're not great instruments really. So I was really, really pleased to find that with this one, if I just flip it over, we've got this really, really comfortable sort of contoured cutaway here that sits up really nice to the body. Very, very comfortable. We've got the perfect shape at the bottom to go on. You need to sit with for if you're in a recording session or you're practicing. The cutaway here means I can get right up to the highest fret, no problem at all, which is obviously balanced by the horn here, if you could call it a horn. It's kind of a stub really. And here the body contours backwards. I don't know if that can come out on camera, but this contours backwards here so that when your arm's over the top, it's just nice and comfortable. It's not like, you know, a lot of those instruments that have kind of a hard flat edge there, you know. So it's real comfortable to play, and on a strap when you're playing live, it kind of sits level. It's not got that awful heavy neck dive thing, but I can't tell you that it sits in the position I'm used to, because you know, the kind of jazz bass position, the way that they tend to sit if they're weighted well is they tend to sit in a slightly sort of sit up and beg kind of a position, which if you're the kind of player that really likes to get around the fretboard, that's really helpful, and I really dig that. This one does tend to sit a bit more level, I would say. There is some weight to this bass, but I should look up for you and put in the video how much it actually weighs. I don't actually know. It's heavier than my other basses, I think, but it's not massively heavy. Yeah, I've certainly played a lot heavier, and I just love this. Getting it into shot in the mirror, in the monitor. This gorgeous batwing headstock. That's amazing. You could take someone out with that. And I've frequently been tempted. So let's have a look at these pickups. Let me show you how these pickups work with this switchy thing and everything. Let's have a look what that mad genius Trevor Wilkinson gave us to play with on this bass. We've got 3 pickups, 3 volume controls, a 5-way switch, and no tone control. Now, from my own point of view, the lack of tone control is a non-issue, because I always play a passive bass with my tone control on 10. That's just the sound I like. So the lack of tone knob, it's like it's one less knob to fiddle with on stage, you know? You know that thing on stage where you keep checking your knob to make sure it's still in the right place, you know? Trying desperately to make a knob gag and failing miserably and losing your place. What was I going to say? Oh yes, right. So, I think this bass might have sold better. I don't actually know what the sales figures are for it, but, you know, I think it would have sold more if it had had a tone control on it, because I like to try and be a good endorsee, right? I like to get as many people as possible to try my instruments, and a lot of people have played this and they've all said it sounds great. They've all said it feels real comfortable to play, and they've liked it, but a lot have commented that they would be worried about the lack of a tone control. Now, if you spend any time with this bass and play around with the options, you find that you can actually cut top end by introducing the neck pickup, and I'll show you that in a moment. But you know, that takes a little bit of experimenting with, so maybe, you know, maybe a tone control would have been a good idea. That's just my own personal thought. So how's it work, Jamie? Well, I'll tell you. The switch is like a Strat switch. So in the bottom position here, I have just this bridge pickup, a nice, bright, loud pickup. Just, you know, it's a J bass pickup in the bridge position. So, so that I would use for something like this. Now, I'm going to bypass the next position up, and I'm going to go to the middle position where we have the split coil. Now, you know what this is going to sound like, because this is the most recorded bass sound in history. The classic P bass pickup. Etc. Right? It's just a wonderful, wonderful sound. Now, as you'll most likely be aware, lots and lots of basses come equipped with just these 2 pickups, and a couple of really popular kinds of bass sounds have been born out of that. A lot of people, I'm going to go down to that second up position, so I've just got these 2 pickups, And a lot of people really like bridge up full, split about a quarter turn in, maybe a little more, and you get this kind of raunchy sound, but with a lot of clarity. I personally really like to have the split up full and bring the bridge in, you know, maybe about halfway, and it adds some kind of clarity to that oomph that the split has. I think I've forgotten how to play, but anyway, you heard what it sounded like, right? That's what matters. Okay, so now I'm going to bypass position 4, come right up to the top and show you this wonderful big fat loud Gibson-y kind of a sound. Right, now all we're getting is like just balls, no definition, no clarity, just ooh. Right, ooh, never done that before. Anyway, right, so now if I go back one, I can show you my favourite sound. So now we've got these two pickups, and I like to have the split all the way up and the neck just down a little bit. Right, and then we've got this wonderful right. Okay, now, not satisfied with all those options, I added a push-pull switch, so that if I go like this and do that, I can now have any blend I wish of the 3 pickups. In other words, I can have the bridge and neck activated together, right? So I can get this kind of bizarre sound actually. Let's take that up a bit. Fretking came into existence in the early 90s, started by Trevor Wilkinson, who is, to be fair, a world-renowned guitar and bass designing guru. The brand was distributed by JHS, John Humby Skews, and about 10 years ago, I believe it was, JHS actually took over ownership of the brand. And then a couple of years ago, Trevor parted way with the company. Now, when I first became associated with them several years ago, I think it's about 8-9 years ago actually. I should have looked that up, but I didn't, so I'm estimating. It'll have to do. Anyway, so yes, when I first became associated with them, they had the Studio series, which was one-off hand-built models by Trevor. The Green Label series, which was all hand-built in the UK stuff. And the Blue Label series, like this one, made in South Korea. And then several years ago, JHS introduced the Black Label series, which is now currently the only series actually available. The others have all been phased out. So, like I said earlier, this is now, an old model that you can actually buy. I guess you could probably pick one up on eBay if you're lucky, or similar sites. But I have 5 Fret Kings. This is the only Blue Label series I have, I've got 3 black labels, and then one that's a prototype. That one was made in Indonesia. The others are all South Korean built, and I can tell you that they all sound amazing, and the build quality of all of them is absolutely stunning. The reason why this one is my particular favorite is mainly because I can get so many options out of it, and just the fact that despite the fact that it's a really unique shape, it's actually very, very comfortable to play. Now, it would be really awesome if right now I could reel off a load of specs for you, like the model numbers of the tuners and pickups and stuff. But I am terrible, absolutely dreadful at remembering stuff like that. So I'm not going to pretend. In fact, I used to work in a guitar shop, actually, believe it or not. I worked in a guitar shop for about a year, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I loved it. But I was terrible at that then. I'd get some customer come in who'd be like, Jamie, what tuners does, which kind of tuners does that particular model hanging up there on the wall on your fantastic wall display have on it? And I'd be like, rate good uns, because I could just never remember. To be fair, I did used to sell an awful lot of instruments. Anyway, so I'm going to put the specs for this instrument on the screen now. I know this strap don't match, but I've lost my blacken. It's in here somewhere. You're still watching. Hopefully that means that you enjoyed the video at least a little bit, and if you did, please give me the old thumb up, and if you haven't already, then please subscribe. And if you would like to get notifications of further content from me, then please ding my bell. I upload stuff about bass, about music I'm working on, about iOS music production, all kinds of stuff, all stuff to do with music. Stuff that makes the world go round. If you'd like to help out my channel at all, then I have a paypal.me linky thing down below the video. And if you would like to consider subscribing to my Patreon account, I do bass lesson videos, and materials to support those lessons are available for download from my Patreon account, which you can sign up for as little as $1/$/euro/whatever chitter for whatever country you're in per month. I think it's, yes, per month. I ought to know this stuff, really. Anyway, so speaking of content, because I think I've got completely lost now, but yes, speaking of content, hoping he's on the right track. If you would like to request a specific kind of video from me, you are very, very welcome to do so. I want to make the kinds of videos that people want to watch. So if there's a particular lesson about bass that you'd like me to do for you, or a particular instrument you're interested in, or if you also watch my content about mobile music production, if there's a particular app that you want to know more about, whatever, anything to do with music, just get in touch with me, let me know. My email address is down below. All my social media links are down below, where you are welcome to stalk me, message me, be a friend, because that's nice and all that business. Yeah, and all that. And I'm sure there's something really, really important I'm supposed to say, but I really can't remember what it is. So until next video, please be good, take care of yourselves, and if you play bass guitar, then turn it up, play it like you mean it, and don't pissy pants about. See you later.